Cada día sale el sol, nuevas esperanzas son. Dios habla a tu corazón, sanándote, alimentando tu vida con bálsamo de vida, con bálsamo de vida, bálsamo de vida.
Bálsamo de vida con Rosmery y Reid.
In the Gospel of Mark chapter 2, it illustrates the story where Jesus heals a paralyzed man. And today I would like us to talk a little bit about it as it teaches us perseverance. May God bless you and keep you on this day. Today we will be reflecting under the title Perseverance. Mark chapter 2 verses 1-3 say, "A few days later when Jesus again entered Capernaum, the people heard that he had come home. They gathered in such large numbers that there was no room left, not even outside the door, and he preached the word to them. Some men came, bringing to him a paralyzed man carried by 4 of them." As I was reading the story, the verse that really caught my attention was the next verse, verse 4, where it says, "Since they could not get him to Jesus because of the crowd, they made an opening in the roof above Jesus by digging through it, and then lowered the mat the man was lying on." Could you imagine that scene? Those friends opened the roof of the house because they had the faith and conviction that Jesus could heal their friend. This story actually reminds me in school when we were told about the inventor Thomas Edison, who he had the dream of producing what we now know as electricity, and he failed hundreds of times in the attempt, but he kept trying until he realized his dream. The same thing happened with the Wright brothers and their desire to fly like birds, thus creating the first airplane. And if we remember Alexander Bell with the famous invention of the telephone, just like them, there are many stories that you surely know where despite the obstacles and limitations, they were able to move forward and overcome the obstacles. These 4 friends did not give up in the face of the limitations and in what they believed. They emerged victorious, as we read in verse 5 where it says, "When Jesus saw their faith, he said to the paralyzed man, 'Son, your sins are forgiven.'" But the story doesn't end there. In verse 6 it says, "Now some teachers of the law were sitting there thinking to themselves, 'Why does this fellow talk like that? He's blaspheming. Who can forgive sins but God alone?' Immediately Jesus knew in his spirit that this was what they were thinking in their hearts, and he said to them, 'Why are you thinking these things? Which is easier, to say to this paralyzed man, your sins are forgiven, or to say, get up, take your mat, and walk?' But I want you to know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins. So he said to the man, 'I tell you, get up, take your mat, and go home.' He got up, took his mat, and walked out in full view of them all. This amazed everyone, and they praised God, saying, 'We have never seen anything like this.'" I want to remind you on this day that in order to achieve what you have set out to do, you must move forward with perseverance. God knows your heart and what you carry inside, your intention. Only He knows it. And He also knows your disposition to achieve what you propose in the Lord. He will show you the path you must follow and will give you the correct instructions if you learn to listen to His voice. So don't be discouraged. Jesus is with you. He takes care of you and He will give you the new strength you need so you can continue. But what is the key? Perseverance. This is your sister Vanessa Ortiz, and may God bless you.
Gracias por estar ahí, escuchando Bálsamo de Vida. Si estas palabras han edificado tu vida, escríbenos a balsamodevidareflexiones@gmail.com y síguenos en nuestras redes sociales. Reflexiones Bálsamo de Vida. Que su gracia te cubra en este día.